Welcome back to Go Fuck Yourself.
My vibration is just
fine. With Debbie and Kenn, or Kenn and Debbie.
Kenebby.
Kenebby. Debbie. Den. Debnicken. I don't know. So, we hope you guys enjoyed and are enjoying the shows. We have listeners from 4+ countries around the world, and also, so our friends from Denmark, thank you for listening. And 15 out of the 50 states, which is great.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed your comment of I don't even know 15 people. So
we know it's just not people like that I've harassed into listening. So that's good.
Listen, a little exerting influence is not bad, at all.
Right.
So, I'm turning it over to you to start this because,
okay.
You had some passion.
So this is what has been coming up a lot lately is, relationships. And I'm not talking about romantic relationships. Like, I don't even want to dip my toe into that nonsense, but, people, community.
Sorry. It was just the tip. That's all I could think of. It was just the tip. So
You're terrible.
Yeah. Sorry. I had to get it out so we could move on. Because I know some of you thought that too. And if you didn't...
Sure they did.
I'm not wrong.
Anyway, so people interacting with each other in this day and age seems to be a super complicated mess. And it wasn't always like that. You have people that are more lonely than ever before, even though the population increase for the world is like, you
can't get away from people.
Right.
They're everywhere.
So people are lonely. And then this cancel culture, and I'm not talking about celebrities, like who the shit cares about them. But friends and certain groups, and the slightest what they feel might be insult or not 100% with their own beliefs and ideas, and somebody disagrees with any of that, oh, well, cancel. You're blocked. I'm not answering your calls. You're out of the whatever. You're done.
Voted off the island.
Yes.
Yeah.
Voted off the island. I think, and I get boundaries, and I get having to pull yourself away from family members and all that stuff.
Yeah.
When to say a relationship is over or not. Maybe I've stayed in some for too long, but I don't know. I'd rather be sure than, cut the cord too soon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's that. And so, I know a couple of the reasons for this is, nuclear families are not the norm anymore. Which that's not good or bad or the other. It's just not what it was.
Yeah.
Yep. And then also people are pulling away from organized religion, which that is definitely not a bad thing. But you don't have what did they call it? The fellowshipping that organized religions have, like the monthly barbecues or the group meetings once a week or twice a week or whatever. Also, like from our parents' generation to ours, like they would have bowling leagues. My parents bowled, my grandpa was on pool leagues. And yes, they do still have that today, but it is not as prevalent as it was then. Like it's not as popular, you know?
Yep.
And when we were younger, we had arcades to hang out in. We had roller rinks to go to. We had and even the sports were more different. It wasn't so much, and there was time before and after games or during practices to socialize and get to know people and whatever. So there's more people than ever. I don't know that there's more things to do than ever. I think that is a major, like, there isn't settings where groups of people get together to meet anymore. And if there is, those settings seem to be ran by strict rules, what you can and cannot do, how you should and shouldn't act, what you should and shouldn't look like to be a part of those groups. Mm-hmm. And then just the cancel, like well, you slighted me, or you like this politician and I don't, we're done. You know what I mean? Yeah. And instead of getting like, so I guess it boils down to there is less understanding between people. Like, you don't have to agree. You don't even have to like them. But maybe if everybody took some time to try to understand each other, and I'm not talking about getting into their history or whatever, but just like, oh, well, being how he grew up and what he went through, I can kind of understand why he would think this. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It doesn't mean you have to like, oh, they're right, and it's not about right or wrong or whatever. I just find it fascinating that the world is twice as populated as it was a few years ago. Yep. And there's just so much disconnect. But you also have people suffering, and these people, huge majority of people are looking for somewhere they belong, somewhere they fit in, somewhere they have people to relate to. And so it's kind of mind-blowing when you think about, oh, that's the want and needs. The planet is so populated by X amount of people, yet people are the loneliest they've been, surrounded by people. Surrounded by people. Yeah. Yeah. So let's get into that. So, when we were talking about this, pardon me, I just kind of looked it up. I was like, okay, epidemic of loneliness, in October of last year, Elizabeth M. Ross published on Harvard.edu, what is causing our epidemic of loneliness and how can we fix it? So just to kind of go into some of the numbers that Elizabeth, that came out of this study of people, right? The age, people 30 to 44, 29% of them, so they were frequently or always lonely. Among 18 to 29-year-olds, the rate was 24%. For 45 to 64-year-olds, it was 20%. And then adults 65 and older, 10% felt lonely. So I think there's a lot wrapped up in those numbers, because I think that my dad, who's 80, would tell you that he's not lonely. Mm-hmm. But I think he is, but he also doesn't express it like that. So right. I'm just, from my perspective, looking at these numbers, I think that one's probably a little higher than 10%. But so for most of you listening, you fit into this. You're either 20% of you up to 29% of you said that you're lonely, right? If that you fall into that age group of 30 to where am I at? 64 kind of thing. And so a couple other things. This one I found interesting because I think it ties back into what you said of people wanting to fit in. So the study said there were no real differences between men and women, but
adults with more than one racial identity had much higher levels of loneliness, 42%. So wanting to fit in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I kind of think of the easiest thing for me to connect with that is my mom is Mormon and my dad is Catholic, and or like even Catholic and Protestants in Ireland and Northern Ireland. It was very you. It was segregated
Right.
by religion, right? And so add to that the fact that I can look at you and see that your skin is darker or your hair is, curlier or like or whatever. Things I think it is difficult. Uh I just want to find someone who gets me.
Yeah.
Right. And so I think that's part of that too. Income levels were interesting. Americans earning less than $30,000 a year, which is barely above poverty. 29% reported feeling lonely. 19% of Americans felt lonely who make $50,000 to $100,000 a year, which is still low income, I think, especially in Utah for what things cost. 18% of people who make $100,000 a year or more said they were lonely. So, now, no, I'm not using Harvard to give us clout, but I liked this and it just kind of popped up. So, this is what they said. What are some leading causes of loneliness in America, according to everybody who was surveyed? Technology was 73% of people surveyed. Wait, why do I feel like I'm on the Family Feud? Survey says contributed. They select technology as contributing to loneliness in the country. It doesn't say why.
Right.
It just is like, do you think technology causes this? Yes. I would be interested to see the breakdown in number, like age group.
Yes. Also, how was the question asked?
Right, exactly.
Like, did they pick technology out of a group?
Yep.
Or did they agree to, do you think and they answered yes.
Was it a fill in the blank or was it a multiple?
Yes.
Select all that apply.
Yes.
Yes, correct. I would agree. Insufficient time with family, it was 66%. People are overworked or too busy or tired, 62%. Mental health challenges that harm relationships with others, 60%. Living in a society that is too individualistic, 58%. No religious or spiritual life, too much focus on one's own feelings, and the changing nature of work, 50% of people. We're going to get into what things they say can help tackle loneliness later. But now, having thrown all those numbers out there, the nuclear family.
The nuclear family blew up and is no longer. I don't think it's a bad thing. People, and so this is the thing too, you have the hardcore religious zealots, like, because it's not a thing and people are sinning and whatever, that's why the world is the way it is. I disagree wholeheartedly with that statement.
Yeah.
I think in that sense, what is happening is, yes, people are breaking away from organized religions and all that. We don't have a model on what to do or how to be without that backbone in somebody else. Somebody else is putting this event together. Somebody else is doing this. And it's not all are invited when somebody else does it, like in organized. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So there's that. We don't know what it looks like. People don't know what it looks like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's no rules to follow. So I don't think it's because nuclear family. okay, so it is a part of it. Like the nuclear family is no longer the majority of how people live anymore.
Yeah.
It's not just, the mom, the dad, and 2.3, 2.5 siblings, kids, whatever.
Yeah.
So there is that. I just think we don't know, what does that look like? We don't know because it's never been done before. People's never broke away and thought for themselves and been like, it's just now getting to the point where divorce is not looked upon like I should be wearing a red scarlet letter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that's one big, huge. I don't think it's bad. I just think we're in a limbo of, okay, well, if we're not going to do it this way, how should we do it?
And I agree with you. I think that part of this is we know that we know that X, Y, and Z aren't working for us, so we step away from it. But we're not necessarily really taught how to critically think and critically process information to find out what might be. So we tend to then just adopt, which is, I think, where it's like, oh, these people they're all love and light. They're going to love me for who I am and accept me. Good luck.
Just wait.
It's not happening.
Just wait.
Not happening. Well, I shouldn't say that. It's not as easy as that.
Right.
Because they haven't done, anyway. Also, I think, the nuclear family, I'm fascinated to see if it starts becoming propaganda again in our current society, which, for those of you who might be listening and who didn't check the date, this will be published September 1st of 2025. Because it was, if I've said this, I apologize for the rerun, but I watched a PBS little mini thing online about the nuclear family, and it started out as a anti-communism propaganda in the 50s that were TV ads. This is what dad looks like, this is what mom looks like, these are what the kids look like, this is what everyone does. So, and it was that's where it started. So I'm fascinated to see if it starts being used in that way again.
Mm-hmm.
But I think too, the one reason about being too tired, if you're a single parent, you've been.
Yeah.
Yep. I can't even imagine. I was never a parent. We all know why, because that would just be really bad for the world. But so I watch friends of mine who are couples who are already exhausted at the end of the day with 2 kids and a dog and stuff. They're exhausted. I can't imagine being a single parent. So, single parent, no, the only maybe free time you get is when you're scrolling at the end of the day, because that's all you have. Like, your thumb barely moves, right? Like, because you've worked all day. I think it's exhausting.
Yeah.
And you don't have any help.
Right. That's what I was going to say is
at all.
Like the grandparents and the great grandparents. Like all I can say is thank God for my grandmas. If it wasn't for my grandmas, Lord knows where me and my brother would be right now. You know what I mean? Like they were the backbone that held, and even farther extended families held everything together. They're the ones that planned stuff and got everybody together and knock your shit off. We're just going to have a good time for this. You can go back to hating each other after the barbecue's over or whatever. So there is and also when you look at like tribal stuff, it takes a village to raise a kid, and we lived in tribes and that kind of stuff, and the responsibility, the load was shared. So being one single parent, if you're not lucky enough to have a mom or a dad or a grandma to help out, or a close friend or an aunt or whoever, it's rough.
It's rough. There was part of that an individualistic society was 58%. So to me, it brings up the idea that was presented to me once. You have a high rise full of single people paying for having their own career, their own job, and coming home and paying for this very lonely apartment that's just for them. But we consider that winning, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you're winning. You're doing great. You have a place of your own to live, and you're doing it on your own. And I think that's kind of the antithesis to what you're talking about.
Yes.
Is that actually this competition?
Yeah.
Individual mentality and culture does not foster at all any of that. And so now let's go here for a second. Oh, the cults, right? If you're going to be here and we're all going to be equal and we're all going to be the same, just sign over all of your money and things to here and you'll be equal. But it becomes a hive mentality instead. I don't think we figured out. Let me back that up. If you know somebody, now I sound like a drug commercial. If you know somebody who needs help, if you know somebody who has figured out how to run a small community, embrace diversity, and not become a hive mentality, please let me know.
Or unjust, unbalanced hierarchy.
Yeah. Yes. With the man with the golden penis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And literally the cult leader is sitting there with his golden penis, stroking it. And, the woman that just joined the cult from Ohio is now broke and can't get out and play. Yeah, we all know that's a big thing. Also, I was going to say, too, the opposite side of that, though, is take the single mom. You have all the pressure of, you have to do everything right, but there's also a part of it, and not just for single moms, we'll say for a nuclear family and all that.
Yeah.
This asinine idea that you have to put your kids in so many events. Like, oh my God, the athletics are good. I think they're great.
Yep.
They did wonders for our generation, like the sports and stuff.
Yep.
It has gotten out of fucking hand.
Yep.
The amount of traveling competition things for baseball, because now all my nieces and nephews are this age, right?
Yep.
The amount of money and the time.
Yeah.
Just to say, well, my daughter is on a traveling team or my son's on a traveling baseball. That doesn't mean shit anymore.
Yep.
Just like in our day when you went to All-Stars, that was a huge thing.
That was a big deal.
That was a big deal.
Yeah.
It don't mean shit no more. It's the coach picks favorites. It's not even who plays their heart out, who deserves it or whatever. Everybody gets a trophy. That kind of mentality. I don't want to get into that part, but anyway, let's just say
sidetrack.
This whole thing, like, oh well, we have to be competitive and we have to keep up with the Joneses. So Becky and Travis next door are in football and baseball and softball and cheer and dance and gymnastics, and not to mention the after school sports, and not to mention the clubs during school. So we need to do all that and blah, blah, blah. There is time. And I think it is ridiculous on the pressure people put to keep up with the Joneses. And to the parents that live vicariously through their kids in that way. Kids don't want to have every minute of every day planned out to the T. You know what I mean? So there's Like with the busyness, you know how it said working and all that? Yep. I don't think it's just the job that's causing the exhaustion. No. Yes, for a single parent, it's the job and maintaining the house and doing the basic chores. Yes, that 100% that is. I'm not going to argue that. But let's say you have 2 moms, 2 dads, or you have, you know, the stepmom and bio dad and whatever the case might be. When there's more people in group, like you have 4 parents, basically, you know what I mean? And everybody's still too busy and too tired. Yep. Then they're the problem when it comes to that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's, I think, so, yeah, I can tell this. I had to go through my head for a second, just make sure it was okay. So, I have a client who, was, they have been helping out, their grandchildren, their child and spouse, live near them, and they have the grandkids, and they help because there are 3 grandkids. So you can't be 2 parents and one that travels can't take everybody to soccer, baseball, ballet, football, like all that stuff, basketball, all that, right? So, they were helping, but now we're having to commute or helping, or what? One of the kids was doing this competitive sport, and practice was an hour away. Yeah. How many days a week, right? And so, same situation. Now I want to know what you think about this. So, I'm not afraid of you not telling me, by the way. Thank you. So one of the challenges, one story they were telling me one day was that they were talking about, so-and-so is going to go to the new high school, and I'm going to take them every day. And I'm like, oh, that's great. Then they proceeded to tell me a story about they were at their grandkid's house, and the child kept getting texts. And like, what's going on with your phone? Oh, it's the people I used to play ball with. Are they, what's going on? Well, they're at a party. Oh, well, are they inviting you to come? No. They're basically rubbing it in that he didn't get invited because he left that baseball team to go play for another baseball team, and those kids are assholes. So when we're looking at I would love to talk to some kids about this, because do you feel like, okay, I want to play, so I'm playing, but do you now feel like you have to play? Let me back that up. Why do you feel like you have to play? Right. Is it because of your friends? Is it because of your parents? Because my dad never pushed, even though I was a bigger kid growing up. Everyone always asked, well, you haven't been in football, right? My dad's like, no. They're like, why not? He's like, well, he's the one to play. I'm not going to push him into that. So, my dad didn't push. My parents didn't push. Right. But I know a ton of parents who do. And so you mentioned earlier, like living vicariously through the kids. And so like Tate calls it the cult of busy. Yes. Yeah. And so, I think, one of the things I was thinking about yesterday, and on a different, not thinking about this topic, but just in general, of a friend of mine messaged me and said, we were talking back and forth, and I asked if they need any help. I know things are kind of rough for them right now, physically, which then means it's an emotional thing, and it becomes emotionally draining when you can't physically do what you need to do. And, right. And so, I said, well, if you need help, please let me know. I'm happy to help. They said to me, and I know that there are a lot of people out there, a lot of what he said was a lot of people we know are in the same boat. Mm-hmm. Everyone's tired. Everyone's exhausted. I think from a lot of reasons. And how do we get out of that?
Right.
And all I could think about was, okay, that would be like a really great series for me to talk about, like from a rune perspective.
Right.
But also, if it's about money, and this one I've had to teach myself.
Yeah.
I'm still learning it. What do I really need? So my subscriptions to the gym, which I haven't been in a year, it's only $10 a month though. It's only $10 a month, right? But added up, it's $100. That was like one of the new tires I had to put on my car the other day. Luckily, they weren't $400 a piece.
Right.
My Netflix subscriptions, like all of those things, I don't like. It's not about. I think we've hit this point of so many things are the minimum, mm-hmm. instead of it being a roof over your head, food in your mouth, and transportation. And now it's even like you have to have a phone. You have to have a mobile phone.
Right.
Well, there are really cheap versions to get, but we're used to getting a new one every year or every 2 years. Yeah. So if we were really to pare down our expenses, that would leave us with actual time to do things. Yeah. Now, I think it's the same thing with people, I guess is where I'm going with this. We think, well, even with my business, I was doing rune of the day videos. I was spending so much time doing all of that. Currently, I stopped, doing things in Salt Lake for a while because I spent so much time commuting, mm-hmm. That I could use that time. I could still do those things online for people, but via Zoom, and not lose my 10 to 15 hours a week commuting.
Right.
And I could put that into something else. Right. So I think also it's if we don't have time and we're lonely and we don't have relationships because we don't have time, where can you'll never get more hours in the day.
Right.
You can't do that.
Right.
It doesn't work. So where in our lives do we need to cut things out?
Right.
Or pare down or scale back? And there are so many things out there now. I think back then, whenever that was, you didn't really have a choice about community.
Right.
This was your community, and we cared about each other. We might not have liked everybody or loved everybody, and people had their tiffs and stuff, right. But we were the Stockton ward. Like it was, I lived in Stockton. I live in Stockton. That was my community. And even just a couple of weeks ago, I went up to Stockton Days because a friend of mine said, "Hey, my daughter's playing in the softball. Come up and check it out." And so I went up and hung out for a little bit. I haven't really been an active part of that community for a long time, but those people live very close to me.
Yeah.
And I've known some of them my whole life.
Right.
So this idea of, I'm not sure where I'm going with this, but I feel like there's something in it stuck in it about better. The grass is always greener.
Oh, yeah.
There's something on the other side, like, oh, well, these people don't quite get me. one of my questions to that is, well, and to myself, I'm not preaching from a soapbox, but are you actually showing them who you are and giving them an opportunity to accept you? No. Why would we do that?
Well,
stupid.
I wouldn't because I've been hurt by people in the past. I will not. You didn't never think that when you first met me and we started talking that it would ever lead to this and I'd be talking your ear off for 3 hours and you know what I mean? Like, you would have never guessed, right? No. Because the walls are up, like Fort Knox.
Yep.
Until I know if it's safe for me to, open the window to the wall. And then maybe we'll open a door, but the screen's still there. Yep. And then we'll, lift the garage door. Yeah. But so there is that. There is that. I think people aren't giving certain settings enough time. Also, like I said earlier, I get boundaries, okay? I've so many bad relationships in my life. So many. I get you don't keep bad people around in your life. Also, I get that maybe we're too quick to write it all off.
Yeah, agreed.
Who was I don't know who I was talking to the other day. Jeez, I don't remember. It gets so bad. Anyway.
Tell me about it.
I don't even know what we were talking about or not. And I just said, but if the role was reverse and somebody expected that from you, how would you react? Oh, I'd fucking fly off the fucking handle. Exactly. So why would you expect that from somebody else? Like, I'm constantly, whenever I get fed up or I'm like, well, that was a dick move or fuck her for saying that. You know what I mean? And it comes from my own expectations of how I think a relationship should go, whether it's a doctor-patient relationship, whether it's a customer service relation. You know what I mean? Like you're the customer and whatever relationship throughout your day, like who are you to put your own expectations on anybody ever? Now, I would say there's a basis. The basis expectation you should have is nobody's allowed to harm me and nobody needs to treat me like shit. Okay. Other than that, all your perceived expectations on how you think a relationship would go, and I'm not talking love relationship. I'm talking all of them. It could be love relationships too, if that's what you want to get into, but a parent, child, cousins, aunt, uncle, whatever. Yep. Who are you to put any expectation on that? And if the role was reversed, tell me you wouldn't be fucking mad. Like what you are expecting from somebody else. If somebody came at you like, oh, okay, this isn't an expectation. It's kind of agreement. And we'll use a love relationship, right? I don't work. So I have dinner ready when my husband gets home. Yeah. It's not expected. It's never demanded. But if it was reversed and like I didn't have dinner ready or what, he wouldn't say nothing. He'd eat a bowl of cereal. He doesn't care. Yep. But at the same time, like if the roles were reversed and I put that like, well, why don't you have my dinner? You know what I mean? Like if these people that are getting upset over the basic things in relationships, well, she said this and I don't agree with that. So fucking what? It doesn't mean you have to write people off just because they don't agree with everything. And where did that come in? And how do we fix that? And where does it go? You know what I mean? Like this whole, I get boundaries. I really do. And I'm not, but I also think it's turned into a trend, especially the way boundaries are thrown out in certain things now. Yeah. I'm not saying boundaries are bad. I'm not saying that. But
don't use them as an excuse.
Yeah, I've seen people, well, you crossed a boundary. Well, nobody's going to know all your boundaries either. You know what I mean? No. I'm not going to walk up to the teller at the bank and expect her to know my fucking boundaries. No. Like that's just, and I think that's part of the problem too. Yeah. Like, well, I have these boundaries and they crossed them. Well, how the fuck are they supposed to know what your fucking boundaries are? Yeah. And why do they need to? if it's not a serious, evolved relationship, if it's not a friendship that's into months and years long, if it's somebody you're just meeting with once a week and you part your separate ways and the only place you meet is at that once a week thing, you don't talk outside of it, you don't contact each other any other way, they do not need to know your boundaries. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm not saying boundaries are bad, but I think it's also gone to where it's a fad term now, just like love and light and all that other stuff. And people are abusing it. And they're making it an awful thing.
I think one of the things, if I look back to like growing up, it was so this is funny because basic respect for other people is something that bugs the fuck out of me. Like when I was young, it was expected that we would be respectful to our elders, to people in the community who, well, anybody. You didn't have to like them,
right?
And that was okay, but you were respectful, especially in a public situation,
right?
Now, I think if you disagree because the color of the pink in the wedding was not the color you thought it was going to be, and you fought over that, someone needs to just kind of grow the fuck up. If you were physically, emotionally abused by somebody, very different situation. And I don't think you have to give them any respect at all. Now, I catch myself saying in my head, you little fuckers, respect your elders. Why? Like, but that's when it's like,
but there is some truth to that. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
You did not walk through people's lawns.
No.
The whole, get off my lawn. No, but that was a real thing.
It's a real thing.
You just didn't do that because it was ignorant and rude, and you were taught that.
It's not yours.
It is not yours. You don't go trampling through somebody else's yard. So there is a basic. So this story, especially with like elderly or something, right? My grandma, she rented this house for like 47 years. Okay. 47 years rented. My grandpa's gone. She's on her own. She's maintaining this house to rent, right? On her own. And she was a dishwasher for the hospital. And then she wasn't making nothing. So she had this, all of a sudden, new people come in to rent, right? Well, it was the same lady that owned the house. But all of a sudden, 47 years, and mind you, that landlord did not do any upkeep on that property, not once in 47 years. Comes in 47 years later and is appalled at how deteriorated some of the house was. The back porch was wood rotting. 47 years. The screen door was falling off the hinges. 47 years.
Yes.
So I would never yell at an old lady or that. The way this lady come in and tried to evict my grandma, like, you will be out by the weekend. Excuse me, no. That's not how it fucking works, sweetheart. No. This lady, she's in her 70s, but she was feisty and she was mean. And I went off on her, right? Like, I went off. And my grandma's sister that lived next door, you do not talk to people that way. You respect your elders. Well, normally I do. But when you act like that, there's no respect for that.
You don't deserve.
Right. So there is some truth to that. You should have basic respect for everybody. Elders. You should have basic respect for younger generation as well. Teenagers. Even if you see them being stupid asses in Walmart or walking down the street, whatever. basic respect, people. And just because some of these people get online and like to throw insults and whatever out. So that is where technology comes out. Yeah. These people sit behind a screen. They're never called out for what they do. The belittle, like, who sits on their phone for hours on end? Well, fuck you. I think you're fat. Fuck you. I think you're ugly. Why don't you, whatever, join Jenny Craig, whatever. Yep. So, but yes, basic respect is freaking needed. Yep. Yes. And why is it still not a thing?
Right. And I think that's where, don't be sorry. No, please.
That was a big, huge.
No, because I feel like that's part of the boundaries thing. I feel like, because we don't have basic respect for people, for individuals, for people's rights, I feel like I think this is maybe part of the problem. What we would have considered basic respect, people are now saying that's a boundary.
Yeah,
so it's
that's
like,
what I mean. You see how the word has been totally
co-opted, and it's not. We've put it into place as in place of just basic respect for each other, and it diminishes it. Mm-hmm. The more we use it, the more it cheapens the word. Yes. The more it becomes a cult word, the more it becomes a love and light word, and one of those concepts that is now. I'm just so sick of like it. It becomes now. I believe in the reason that the word woke originally began to be used, and it was having to do with equal rights for people. I believe in that. What we've done now and what has happened is using the word woke has become this weapon, and it's become this segregating thing, and it's become this
meant to be derogatory.
Yes. And so I think that's where we're getting with boundaries too. Yeah. Because I will guarantee you T-shirt of the episode, guarantee. I have to write that down. This is ASMR. Hold on, listen.
And it's a T. Oh my god.
Yeah, T. Oh, high five. Okay. That's so good. Okay, I really am writing it down. T. T-E-E. Yep, T. Or Gara fucking, and then leave the T off because it is a T-shirt. Garrett. Yeah, okay, so IYKYK. All right? IYKYK, people. So, derail.
Sorry.
No, please don't. I'm the one who was like, oh, that's the T-shirt. So, because I guarantee you that, you and I are Joe and Sally, and our kids are playing ball, and they've known each other for years. Out on the field, we're sitting next to each other talking, and they're like, "Oh my god, if I hear little Joe say boundaries one more time to me," and you're like, "God, little Sally does it all the time," and so right, so yeah. we're experiencing now the use of boundary as it's weakened. It doesn't even represent anything other than don't make me do what I don't want to do. I have a boundary. No, listen. For one, you're like 12. I'm sorry, but you're going to have to do what your parent tells you to do unless it's illegal.
Yeah.
So and you're only 12.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up and just listen, right? Like. Yeah. But that goes into a whole other episode of the fact that those humans at that age don't have any use for us, or they don't see a use for us.
Right.
Because I think they see us struggle so much. They see us struggle to have boundaries. They see us struggle to make relationships. They see us struggle to make money. They see us struggle to parent.
Mm-hmm.
They see us struggle to do anything. And they're like, the way you guys don't know what the fuck you're doing. So why are we listening to you? Because you're on however many medications and you're crying yourself to sleep at night scrolling through your phone. So, okay, I think this is a good spot. What remedies, we're back to the Harvard smart folks. What remedies do Americans propose to tackle loneliness? At least 3/4 of the people who were surveyed highlighted these solutions to loneliness. Reach out to family or friends, 1. 2, learn to love myself. Just the tip. 3, learn to be more forgiving of others. And 4, find ways to help others. So family, love, forgiveness, and service. If that's not a fucking religion, I don't know what is. I just realized that. I'm like, oh my God.
Okay, but that's not true.
God.
You can't do that. Like, I have a couple of friends. I have family. I am lonely all the time. I don't have anybody. Okay, there's a couple of people I have that I can relate to my situation and whatever, right? Yeah. But we're not in to where we can go do things, experience life together. And so what it ends up becoming is like, it's a bitch session on the phone and you get it out and that's great. Like, it's so cathartic. It's good, but it does nothing for that. Like, you're out participating in life and then bonding at the same time.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So no. And some people don't have family. You know what I mean? Some people are, no, you can't do that. So, and then learn to love myself. Oh, okay. I'm still working on that. I don't know anybody that absolutely loves their self 100% without conditions. I don't know a single soul. People judge themselves pretty harshly. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And people are doing ungodly things to themselves and their bodies to fit in or forget or not feel or whatever the case may be.
Yep.
So, that's easy. Learn to love yourself. Oh, okay. Fuck, why didn't I think of that? And it doesn't mean that you're not still going to be lonely.
Right.
You're still by yourself. And people are like, oh, but the best people I can be by myself for days. Yeah. I don't have an issue with it. Yeah. There are still times where you want to have different people, express different ideas, have different conversations, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Get different insights on life.
Yeah.
See how the other people in the world live. So that's stupid.
I think if the people who took, how'd they put it? At least 3/4 of people who were surveyed highlighted these solutions to loneliness. I think if these solutions were it, I think that it can be similar to, I don't know how to do it any other way, so these are the only things I can think of to make this happen.
Right.
So, because reach out to friends or family. Okay, love myself, which you talked about. So, learn to love yourself is a whole lifetime of things, right?
And learn to be more forgiving of others. Forgive them for what?
Yeah.
Because they slighted you in some stupid, you know what I mean? Like I said before, it shouldn't be, that should be forgive, whatever. You need to learn how to understand others. I don't think forgiveness should be in there. Like, learn how to understand others.
Yeah.
Even if you don't agree with it, if you understand where they come from and why they do what they do,
yep.
I don't think it needs to be forgiveness.
I think forgiveness is an interesting word, and I don't I don't love it.
Right.
I think also, I don't even know where this came from or where it started, so it'd be an interesting dive somewhere. But where did it start that people can just go fuck themselves? They don't need them anymore. Hi, puppy. And well, I know it has to do with like us moving off the farm and into the cities, and and being able to choose the people we want to be with. Um, but I think we so desperately want to be understood and accepted but the only way we think that can happen is by finding other people who are similar to us versus, oh, I'm going to simply have respect for and accept a wide range of people around me because we need that. Now, I think also that goes back to the fact that our current society is very individualistic, is very homogenous, is very look like the Kardashians, is very much all of that, right? We want to all be the same, but yet we want to.
But no, I'm an individual.
I'm an individual, yeah.
I do not look like a Kardashian,
right.
even though I do. I did not spend half my paycheck on their jeans.
Yep.
Even though I did.
Right. Well, I did tell you.
Because I'm an individual.
Yep. Yes.
Or I bought their jeans, but do you see I cut this hole in right here?
Yep.
So that makes me more individualized.
Yes, and more special.
Yes.
I bedazzled mine in my own way. For those of you who remember what bedazzling is. So I think it's interesting. I think it's fascinating. I think that the way we use the term and the title "Go fuck yourself," my vibration is just fine. Is not meant, because I know some of you thought this, because I thought it for a half second. Is not meant to be divisive. It's meant to be, and it's not meant to be a rough boundary and a protection boundary. It's meant to be, hey, we're going to start doing things differently.
Yes.
And start talking about things differently so that it can be, it doesn't have, things don't have to be the way they are or have been, because we can learn to do it differently. And one of those things is by accepting people where they're at and for who they are. And not saying that you have to live up to this this expectation I have for you,
right?
Which is usually the one I have for me, and I'm not even meeting that, so then I'm holding everyone else to that expectation.
Right,
too, right. Yeah, it's messy, but this was a good topic. Relationships a big topic.
Yeah,
it's huge. It could have been broken down, which we might break it down later.
Yeah,
I guarantee you. Sorry, I just looked at it and I had to say it.
Yeah. So, what do you think one way for people that are lonely or whatever, to start building a community around them? What's one thing you could do or start?
So, I personally think that you have to, which is what we're going to do real quick. I need to know what the term lonely means. Because lonely definition, according to my Google phone. So, okay, I don't like that one, but I'm going to read it to you anyway. This is from Oxford Languages. The adjective means sad because no one has friends or company. Without companions or solitary. Unfrequented and remote. So a lonely stretch of the country lane is the idea. And that means place. Merriam-Webster, who's the one that I usually go to, being without company, cut off from others. I think that's a really interesting definition. And it goes back to, have you cut yourself off? Because you said that. Mm-hmm. I cut myself off from that person because they looked at you rough. Yeah. Were you were you hungry? And we're gonna get into that in just a fucking second. Sad from being alone, producing a feeling of bleakness or desolation. So here's why I like to do that. Is that really how you're feeling? Right? So let's actually define and find a good word, which our language is about transactions and commerce. So it's really hard to sometimes find emotional ways of speaking. But my first thing is define what it is that you're feeling. Mm-hmm. And then go internally and say, well, you've had the soul map reading. Yeah. So there are those 9 central column. If all of those pieces of me are aligned, which means they're all satiated, they've all been fed, I've gotten enough sleep, I'm not hungry, and I'm still feeling that, okay, then I can do something about that. But potentially, HG put this really well in one of the videos we just recorded for the Intro to Northern Tradition online course. And I'm going to fuck it up, but you'll get the gist of it. If I think everyone hates me, mm-hmm. I'm probably hungry. If I hate me, I'm probably tired. If something else, I need to go take a shower. Like they have these, if I'm feeling this way, this is probably what I need. Right. So they've worked out over their lifetime that for themselves. So that's their check-in. Yeah. Most of us don't have a check-in like that. Most of us don't have I'm feeling like this, and I understand what that feels like. So I think it kind of goes back to halt. Are you hungry? Angry, lonely, tired, and something else. There's 2 T's. So and they have an actual action plan for when they're feeling that way, mm-hmm. to get that back in alignment. Right. So I think we even have to understand initially what it is that we're feeling, and kind of be able to sit with and look at why potentially I am feeling that way.
Right. And also, but the big thing in that is you have to stop and be present. Yep. To even be aware that's where you're at.
Correct. Yes.
And then also one more thing, I would suggest people ask, well, why do you think you're lonely? Or why? Is it out of comparison? Because mm-hmm. you're comparing yourself to what you perceive other people's lives are. Yep. Like, oh my God, they go out like every weekend, all weekend. They're always going to these parties. They're always invited to this stuff. To me, that's just gross. I would never want that kind of life anyway. But please don't invite me. I'm good. Right. No. Yeah. But do you think you're lonely because of comparison?
Yep. Agreed.
Or because you think people live these lives and do all this stuff and have all these yep. people around, and maybe they swing by barbecue for 15 minutes and they did a picture and everybody's like, yay. And so you're like, yeah. oh my gosh, look like they have all these friends and blah. But really, she just said, and that's because that's a culture now, like, oh, let's do group photo. And everybody's like, yay. You know what I yep. mean? Yeah. And so you're like, oh, like they had the best weekend and they have all these people around them, and I'm lonely. I don't have any friends. Well, those people weren't friends.
No.
They were there.
They were in the picture.
Yeah. You know what I mean? That's so it's that comparison, I think. Are you lonely because you're really, truly lonely, or are you comparing yourself and your life to what you perceive others are?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's I think that's a really good place to start.
Stop.
I start figuring out for yourself.
Yeah. Okay.
You're like, start. We started an hour ago. And we appreciate you listening for 65 minutes. And yeah, anything else before?
There's so much you could go into, but we'll save people the heartache of
we're
listening.
gonna leave you there on the edge of the loneliness cliff, which is actually not that big of a fall. So
Right.
So thank you for those of you who are leaving comments.
Yeah.
We love that. Maybe let us know what you think about this episode and how you handle maybe feeling when you get the loneliness bug, because there's not really a pill. I mean, I guess there are, but we're not. That's a whole other episode.
How to restore communities without it looking like a nuclear family, organized religion community. How would we do that?
Yeah, because I'm all about that. And
it can't just be everybody getting in a drum circle, drumming and being stoned or high on shrooms or whatever in a park every Saturday. Not that I'm saying anything's wrong with that, but that's been played out to its max too. We need to do something else. So not that.
When we sat down and you were telling me about this, and I pointed at Manaz, which is the ruin that you had just painted, and we're talking about community. It's very much that.
Yeah.
But Manaz, the idea of community, I think, within those contexts of the Northern tradition, for me, is about weaving together or sewing together patches like in a patchwork quilt, but it's done with stitching that goes back and forth, and that back and forth is actually the constant flow of debt and credit between people. And so, and these things are these relationships and these stitches are forged by hard work and then also by fun. So, it takes interaction. It takes active interacting with people to form communities, to form these relationships. And I think maybe that's also a place where we all get a bit lost is how do I do that? I don't want to do it and get fucked over again.
Or fear of rejection.
Yep. Yeah. So, and yeah, right. And you don't want to, I don't want to put money into a bank account thinking I'm putting it into a bank account, but I'm just throwing it out the window.
Right.
And so, if that happens, you can't do anything about it.
Right.
And we just kind of learn, or collect data, so that next time we go into this, we can make it a better, a more informed decision. And sometimes that leads to a better outcome. Sometimes we can't. The thing is, we can't control other people.
Right.
And so the only person you can control is yourself.
Right.
And so it doesn't mean that we're heartless or hard if we let me back that up. I don't want to allow myself to become that heartless, hard, hardened because of those experiences I've had with other people in the past that maybe have hurt me.
Right.
And not becoming that is difficult.
Yes.
So
to become so jaded and bitter by one experience.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because I keep getting these. So I will watch people on YouTube from time to time who give tarot readings and things.
Oh yeah.
And so they keep saying, I keep watching the ones for Aries because I am, and so, love's coming in, and I'm like, ugh, like I just want to just kind of heave a little bit, but I've been hearing it so much that I realized I'd rather have it be money at this point, but because I have to replace my windshield in my car and my brakes on the back, and yeah. So unless it's a mechanic who will do all of that for me for free, then I can have love and money.
Right.
Perfect. But I realized within the last couple of days that I want to say, yes, I'm open to that. Because if I'm closed off to that, I'm actually metaphysically closed off to anything coming in to me, which don't take that the wrong way, which I did. Sorry. So, but the idea is, if I'm closing myself off to something that is supportive to me, where else am I closing myself off to being supported?
Right.
And so maybe this has to do with a little bit with the loneliness and community too.
Absolutely.
Like if I'm closing myself off to one person, am I really closing myself off to everybody, including myself?
Yes.
Which is probably where a lot of true loneliness comes from.
Right.
It's not sadness. See, for me, it would be lack of companionship, not sadness.
Right.
Because I know that I need to have social interactions.
Right.
So it's different.
I think as basic human beings, we need to have social interactions.
Oh, I think absolutely.
To maintain whatever. Humanity.
It just depends on the level that you need, right? For you. So anyway, woo, that was an extra 10 minutes. Sorry.
Sorry, not sorry.
Not sorry,
I'm not sorry.
Maybe, no, never. Maybe what we'll start doing is doing the episode and then after the episode, and then that will be available on Patreon or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway. Now, sorry, my brain just went all sorts of weird places.
So in the meantime, till the next one, go fuck yourself.
My vibration is
just fine.